Welcome to 72 Hours on Call with me. Let's go.
At our hospital, we do weekend calls. So that starts Friday morning at 8 a.m. and extends all the way until Monday morning at 8 a.m. So total of 72 hours. Every morning from 7 to 8 a.m. is reserved for some sort of teaching rounds, except on Fridays, which are our academic rounds. So the Friday morning starts like any other Friday morning. Wake up and have my morning meetings. If you're on a committee like I am, like the Residency Program Committee or the Orthopaedic Leadership Council, those are when that happens. So this is what I'm doing today on Friday morning. But first, coffee. I head to the hospital, check my patient in, and do a little paperwork as the OR gets set up. And once we're ready to go, it's on to the cases. The person on call on Friday gets the elective OR day that day, so that's me. So we are doing a regular slate of elective cases. You guys all know that my favorites are shoulder replacements and that I love using the mixed reality system, so we're gonna do that again. Once this is all done, we head to the trauma cases.
Whew. I feel like a burger.
Yum.
We just finished our first case and we are on call, but luckily, we're like a kind of a community level hospital. So we get consults throughout the day, but nothing's too urgent. But luckily, I'm very fortunate to work with some awesome trainees, and they go see the consults. And Carla's gonna get ready for the next case. Okay, here's the crazy thing is that we were coming out of the operating room and saying how much it'd be awesome to get burgers. And check out what they're having randomly outside of the cafeteria. Burger cookout. Absolutely. It was meant to be. Okay, so one of the things that people always ask about is whether it's safe to do this much call. 72 hours in a row is a lot. The nice thing is though, we work at a community level hospital, level 3 trauma center. And so I can't say that it's super busy, but even on top of that, we do have the consistent kind of row of consults come in. From my perspective, the nicest thing about this whole setup is that we have wonderful trainees, so medical students, residents, fellows, who are the first call and being the attending. We're pretty protected from being up all night and everything. And it's honestly, in the years that I've been here, I don't think I've actually ever been up all night doing anything. Everyone talks about that Swiss cheese model. So hopefully that is something we can avoid by having these multiple levels at a relatively safe kind of tertiary level 3 trauma call situation. That doesn't mean that I'm not tired by the end of it. So I definitely try to take the Mondays after a weekend off just to recuperate, spend some time with my family, do all my paperwork. I think the most important thing is that we put your safety first. And if we're ever tired or feel like we can't do the job, I personally push the case, cancel it, put it off to later, or call in for help. So we are done our elective part of the day. So like I said before, at our hospital, if you do a trauma weekend like we're doing, you get to operate as an elective case during the day on the Friday. So we're done that now, and so we're going to move on to the trauma portion of it. We got broken bones, all sorts of stuff. And so that'll go till this evening, and we have another day of booked trauma cases tomorrow, Saturday, followed by all the other cases on the board. And then Sunday's an open day for everybody. So hopefully we get as much done as we can tonight and tomorrow. We'll see how things go. See you soon. The hardest thing about call is the waiting. Waiting for patients to get down here, waiting for rooms to get turned over, and there's a lot of setup that goes into these trauma cases. The most challenging thing about it probably is that you don't know what's coming through the door. So we all have to have a skill set of basic trauma. This ranges from shoulder all the way down to the toes. Fortunately, I did a trauma fellowship, so this really helps me in my life. It decreases my stress. I know I can manage it. My toolbox of skills is a little bit bigger, which is excellent. One of the biggest things about being a surgeon is you have to be able to stay on your toes and plan and be spontaneous as you go along. Like I said, oftentimes, you only have less than an hour sometimes to plan the case. And if it's a real emergency, you're crashing into the operating room, you have to kind of deal with things as they go. It's kind of fun, but it can be a little bit daunting. Good training and experience for sure helps. The hunt for lead is real. You gotta find just the perfect one.
If you're going to be standing there for hours on end wearing lead, you better be sure you have a comfortable set. Some people buy their own, but our hospital is awesome about keeping them nice and clean and in good condition. So I just use theirs.
This one looks nice. We'll take this one. Winners. So we're finished the first emerge case, but we got bumped by another service for the more urgent case. So that sometimes happens over the weekend. So when we are operating, there's many times only one operating room overnight for all the emergency cases. And so sometimes if a more urgent case comes in, they bump you or jump in front of you in the line. One of the downsides, like we talked about, of not being able to control your own time frame very much. And yeah, something happens. And so we will be back tomorrow to find another day. One of the best things about being on call in the summer is that when you go home, no matter what time it is, it's always bright out. So you're not feeling like you go to work and it's dark and you come out and it's dark. You have a little bit of life in you, which is awesome. So I'm gonna go home, hang out with my family, have some dinner, and recharge for the day tomorrow. So welcome to day 2. We are in the hospital again today, day 2. On Saturdays, we have a booked trauma room full of kind of, we call them walking wounded. So people who are safe enough to go home, wait for surgery, come in, have day surgery, and then go home. And then after that, we continue on into our list of admitted patients.
Oh my god, am I gonna be in the Instagram video?
Okay. So we just finished, we just finished our daytime cases of trauma, and now we are moving towards the nighttime cases, just same as the other day. We got lots of trauma, got good energy. It's definitely much busier doing just trauma than an elective. It's a little more unknown, you know, like we talked about. I think when you're here a lot, and especially we're also fielding calls from the hospital and not from outside as well. So lots of things. That's why, you know, this will be very few updates today. We'll get it done. Back where I started. Back in the dictation room here, and it's about 8:30. Having a grande coffee, so that's always a good sign. So we got a couple more cases to go, so we're gonna keep hitting it and keep trucking along. Hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Send me those good vibes when we need them. Back for day 3, here we go. You know, once you're coming down to this last home stretch of 72 hours on call, it really is the little things that go a long way. Finding your favorite lead right where I left it. Making sure you're in a nice operative room, so one of the bigger ones. And, you know, making sure everything's kind of runs smoothly. The hardest part about being on call is finding food. A lunch of champions. You know, it's a weekend. Nothing's open, so make sure you have to pack a brown bag full of your goodies, lots of snacks in your white coats. That's what I always tell the residents. We might have to do a run for coffee, and hopefully we'll ask some of the reps for some too. The other hard thing about the weekend is that it's one team, right? So one surgery team, one anesthesia team, one OR, and so sometimes if things are more emergent, they get priority, so we get bumped. So that's what happened. So we showed up, you know, in the morning ready to do our case, and then we have to wait a little bit. It's okay though, but because there is always work to do in the hospital. And so we're gonna do some of that work, administrative stuff, see some patients, and remember, stay hydrated.
Don't buy kidney stones.
When you know you've been on call and you've been washing your hands a lot, I know what to do. Can I borrow some hand cream? I knew it! Thank you. Anesthesia has the fanciest lounge for sure. They have everything. If you ever want coffee, hand cream, snacks, big screen TV, go to the anesthesia lounge. Getting outside for a couple of minutes between cases is an absolute game changer. It is gorgeous out. We did it, sort of. We finished our 3rd OR day in a row. It is now 10:30 at night. We've been operating since like 7:30, 8 o'clock. Today, yesterday, and the day before. So lots of operating this weekend. You know, it's a fun weekend, fun cases. but definitely long. But the night's not over. I'm gonna go upstairs, check on some patients, and make sure everything's okay. And we will also be on call for the rest of the night. We did it! 72 hours on call, operating all weekend. Wasn't that fun?
That was awesome. When you reduced that fraction, we were all like, round of applause.
It was great.
They were surprised for some reason. Thank you guys, appreciate you.
Thank you.
Bye.